Hello everyone, we are back again, but this time we are not doing a preview or review of any match day. We are going to talk about the transfer window specifically.
Yes.
The Premier League had a lot of transfers going in and out, so we're going to talk about that
The
today.
best part of the season for me.
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah.
transfer window is the most fun part, I
Exactly.
believe, right?
And also because I don't really have to watch Chelsea play that.
So, at first, I think we should start with the big six,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So, again, we're going to start with Chelsea.
Yeah, easy. Of course, it's a big club.
The
Big
number
club.
of signings you guys have made.
Yeah, that's why it's a big club.
Every day I
Yeah,
wake
it
up, I see Romano posting, Chelsea, here we go, Chelsea, here we go. I'm like, "Darling."
And every time it's a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think we can field the entire starting 11 of goalkeepers.
You have
Yeah.
9 goalkeepers, so yeah.
Yeah.
And you can start Nico.
No, we will have.
Sorry, I was about to say
By the
Nico
time-
Williams, Nicholas
by the
Jackson, as a keeper.
By the time we name that starting 11, we'd have signed 2 more.
Yeah.
We'll be
Don't
done.
worry, we will wake up tomorrow and there will be a here we go again.
Yeah, exactly.
I want
That's
to
fine.
see Jackson playing as a keeper though.
But, okay, from a serious standpoint,
Yeah.
what do you think about the transfer window this year?
Oh, it's a mixed bag. It's complete mixed bag. I don't get the philosophy of buying young and hoping that one of them works. Like they're now ideally looking for the next Cole Palmer for us. Like buy them cheap and like maybe he works. I don't know what the strategy is. This is not a strategy. This is a hit and trial method.
Yeah. I have read somewhere that Ted Boyle has been looking to do this. So he's buying these kids, right?
Yeah.
For 20 million, 40 million.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't say he's buying kids. That sounds so wrong.
he's buying footballers
Yeah.
for 20 million, 40 million,
Yeah.
right? Now, the thing is that he's probably planning to help them grow in the club
Yeah.
and then sell them for a profit.
Yeah,
That is his
that
business.
is his idea.
Right.
That is his idea.
But how is this helping Chelsea as a team? I
It's
understand from a business standpoint,
Yeah.
very good idea. But as a team,
So that's where the problem comes in. Generally, with all your American owners, the way that club sports in America works and the way European club sports work is way too different, right?
Exactly.
European football and English football, it's more about passion, more about watching your team and making sure that your team does best no matter what your financials look like.
And besides that, this is the place where you develop players,
Exactly.
not buy random players.
Yeah, and you develop with the aim of using them in your own club,
Exactly.
not with the aim of selling them for
Yeah.
a profit.
yeah,
The main problem I have with Boli and the whole consortium, it was visible in the City game where Kovacic scored and he scored in the 84th minute. Todd Boli just left.
yeah,
There was a shot there where they showed that okay, Boli was like, okay, I can't wait for 10 more minutes. Let me beat the traffic. That is not how how an owner should work,
yeah.
right? You own the club. You have to. If you're there in the stadium,
Probably wants his burrito early.
it was just disheartening to see. Like fans doing that, I still get it. Right? They do it from a
Different
passionate
perspective, yeah.
standpoint, right?
Hmm.
Because
Because they're
Yeah, of course.
they're passionate to
Exactly.
see.
yeah, and you don't want to see your
See, that's
club lose.
understandable.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
for your owner to do that, I don't think Abramovich ever did that.
Yeah.
And
Kind of
come
disrespectful
back.
to the club crest
Exactly.
as well, I
The
feel.
reason
Yeah.
why I had respect for Chelsea before
they were sold.
Boyle came.
Yeah. So that was disheartening to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, coming to their transfer strategy,
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about the numerous players that came in because I can't sit here and pretend to know who Ansel Amino is, like
Yeah.
who's we signed him from Boca.
What?
Yeah.
Lamino? What?
Ansel Amino, something like
Oh,
that. We
no,
signed a young
okay.
defender from Boca. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know how good Amari Kellyman is. So I'm just going to talk about the signings which I think can realistically be a part of the starting 11 and the first team, not even just the starting 11,
Interesting.
which are Dewsbury Hall. Seems like Renato Vega is going to be a part of that
Okay.
group
Pedro
now.
Neto, I guess.
Pedro Neto and who else
Jorgensen?
did we sign? Philip Jorgensen is going to be there. Now we've gotten the here we go for Felix as well.
That will be interesting because I feel Felix
Yeah,
suits the Chelsea system,
I think so too. Yeah,
right?
yeah. And people have been
I
writing.
feel he's gonna flop. I don't
See,
know why.
so people have been writing him off because of his loan, the 6-month loan he's spent here. But I was talking to a friend, and I told him the same thing. I was like, judging him from that period is not really fair to him, because he was only here for like what, 10, 15, 20 games, in which there was a time when we were going through this entire turmoil of
Yeah.
the sanctions and everything.
I think he was decent.
He was decent, yeah.
He was not
He
below
showed his
average.
glimpses. He showed
Not
those
that,
glimpses.
Not that.
We were playing under Lampard, where we lost. I think we only won 1 out of the last 8 games.
That was a Chelsea disaster.
Yeah,
by the way. That
exactly.
was like
True.
the worst possible
Exactly.
phase for Chelsea.
So no one performed in that period, right? So I don't feel it's fair to single out Felix
I agree.
in that aspect.
True.
And considering he had a decent he didn't have a great season with Barca, he had a decent season with them. I think he scored somewhere around 14-15 goals. So seeing what he can do under Maresca, that would be interesting. If Maresca gets his tactics right, I think Felix could thrive here, and he'd be, even at this point, he'd be a big upgrade on Sterling.
True.
I agree.
Absolutely.
The one thing I'm hoping for is the Osimhen move. Everyone's saying that move is gonna go down to the wire.
Every
Let's
Chelsea
see.
fan. Seriously. All of my
Osimhen,
friends.
But not even about Chelsea. His transfer news
Yeah.
has been sparking since the beginning
Yeah.
of the UEFA Euro,
exactly.
right? And it has to end somewhere.
Yeah.
Come on.
And especially if the reports are about Lukaku being not directly being a part of that deal, but Lukaku being thrown into the mix. Right now, Chelsea have all the advantage over Napoli. Osimhen wants to leave. Conte only wants Lukaku. Lukaku wants to leave. Chelsea can just hold Napoli by the throat right now.
And Osimhen to Chelsea would be a great move. They need someone.
And especially if we avoid spending 100 million on him, that will be great. The only reason I was against the Osimhen move was because if we'd spent, say, I think the asking price was like 120, 130 million. If he'd spent that much money, he definitely would have flopped. Like, especially at Chelsea. Definitely. But, like, you take away that big of a price tag from him, say you get him for 50 million plus Lukaku plus one more player that they're saying, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
That takes the pressure off of him.
True.
Imagine after all that talking, he joins PSG.
Yeah, PSG, that deal is done. thankfully.
Imagine, just imagine.
I mean, yeah.
Or maybe some other club.
I mean, I don't think.
We will see what
at
happens.
this point, getting Osimhen is more of a luxury.
Exactly.
Yeah. But-
Because, like, ideally, we need more defenders.
But we will see what happens. So moving on from
Yeah.
Chelsea, Manchester City, no signings.
Apart
one.
from one.
Savinho.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm very happy with it because we already have the depth in our squad. And besides, I feel Savio is a great player.
Yeah.
He's a very good winger,
Yeah.
and he's a left-footed player. Of course, I have a thing for left-footed players, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just amazing.
And, like,
So
he
we
reminds
can-
us a lot of Mahrez.
Oh yes, he does.
True.
He does. But again, nobody can replace him.
Yeah.
Mahrez, I just love Mahrez.
But I just
City
want to
should-
have.
City shouldn't talk about you not replacing people. Okay? You said that for Aguero, and then you can't.
But I do have one question for him. Alvarez left.
Yeah.
Who takes up his shoes? Who replaces him?
Especially
that is
now.
a very good question, and I honestly do not have an answer.
Especially
for
with
that. I really don't.
Oscar Bob also now being injured for a long
He's
time.
and I
even-
was heartbroken.
Yeah, same.
I was heartbroken.
I really
because
wanted to
that
see him
kid
perform.
is just.
Yeah.
I have the right to call him
Yeah.
a kid because I'm like literally I'm older than him now. So like I genuinely felt bad for him.
Yeah.
And talking about Julian Alvarez, I feel it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
He was not going to sit back.
I wasn't expecting Atletico though, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
wasn't
was
expecting
unexpected,
that.
to be
Yeah.
honest.
And I mean, it was a steal for us, honestly.
Yeah.
But I feel he's a great prospect. He's a great player, and I really hope it works out for him at Atletico.
But then
Apparently,
again, it's-
now City will probably go for someone because Alvarez is gone. Oscar Bob is gone. I think out till 2025, from what I've been reading. And even Savinho picked up some sort of a knock. I don't know how.
Serious is that?
Yeah, how serious it is, but he picked up a knock in the Chelsea game.
Are we
That's why he was
becoming the
replaced.
next Manchester United? I don't know what's happening, man.
So and the most surprising thing for me is now I've been reading rumors about Gundogan going back to City.
Yeah, exactly.
There are numerous rumors, but
Would you like that move?
I would love that.
Really?
He's a club legend, man.
Where do you play him? Where do you play
They
him?
have to scramble for legends. Sir.
Where do you play him though?
I would say the normal
Gundogan's going to
center,
become the next Arteta.
the normal center midfielder role. I would say because I feel he would be a good replacement for Bernardo Silva, and then you have Kevin De Bruyne. Look, I get it. Why you guys are judging? Why you guys are judging? I get it. Why you guys are judging?
And
me, but
McCarthy.
I honestly have a special.
I get it. I get
special
it.
spot for this
I'm
guy.
gonna,
man.
I understand, but I'm gonna ask you this thing. If Gundogan comes back, McCarthy development
Yeah.
is completely banished for at least another season.
Exactly.
Would you like that? Do you want to develop a player or do you want Gundogan back? Here's your question.
Maybe as a manager, as an assistant coach, but no. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I'll change my
I get
mind
from
here.
a fan's
I'll
perspective.
change my
Yeah.
mind here. Because I just love it when people talk about Manchester City products developing and them doing well whenever the pre-season matches occur. So it's like, okay,
True.
why not?
Okay.
And McCarthy, I think he's a good prospect.
Yeah,
for
he
City.
is. He is. So
Yeah.
moving on, Man United for the big transfer window.
Good transfer.
I'm impressed.
Very good transfer.
I'm
Very
also
good
impressed,
transfer
yeah.
window.
I mean, you can literally see the transition from that era to this era.
Hmm.
I mean, you have Van Nistelrooy, then Rene Haak, all of them coming in. The coaching staff is doing great, and
The structure
Ineos.
that they've gotten.
Ineos,
Oh my god.
amazing, brilliant job.
I hate that Jim Ratcliffe's bid for Chelsea was rejected. Because look at the mess that Todd Bowley and
The
Co are
green
running.
flag of owners.
Yeah, exactly. As of right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is
He's
a
great.
sweet spot for Jim Ratcliffe.
Hmm.
Even though he's a minority owner, he's taken the control of the operations.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need anything else.
He's being the boss,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
not just a boss, a
Yeah,
leader.
yeah, that's what Man United required.
Yeah.
Look,
Let me give you 4 names: Matthias Delict, Mazraoui. Then they have Zirkzee, Lenny Yoro.
yeah.
Good
Amazing.
win. Amazing win.
But if I have to raise question marks over them, I was talking to my friend and I told him this, that there is some sort of a similarity between United's moves and Chelsea's moves. Chelsea are going for unproven players, thinking
Okay.
that they would come good.
Okay.
United are paying for players that have failed at other clubs, who once had a good reputation, thinking that they'd come good.
Zirkzee?
Zirkzee failed at
stank
Bayern.
up at Bayern.
Zirkzee failed at Bayern. Zirkzee failed
Yeah.
at Anderlecht under
No,
company.
he didn't really fail.
I
but
mean, yeah, he wasn't
could have done
as
better.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was pretty good at Bologna though.
only at Bologna
he was
he
great
was
at
good.
Bologna.
And then Delict, I don't think he's ever
Average,
reached Ajax
very
height.
average. Season
Yeah,
after Ajax.
Exactly.
Wherever he went, he was average.
yeah. Same for Mazraoui.
Hmm.
And Euro is still unknown, so can't talk about Euro. Even if they get Ugarte in, he did not have a good season with PSG.
Yeah.
So they're also hoping that these players come good.
So here's
Yeah.
my question to you. Ten Hag, this
Yeah.
time around, got everything that he wanted.
Yeah,
He got Nistelrooy, he got
Yeah.
Hake.
yeah.
He
He's
got this.
half of Netherlands in Manchester, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
he is getting the full support of Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah,
He wanted Delit, he got Delit. He wanted Zirkzee, he got Zirkzee.
yeah.
And I feel this is the decision-making season for him.
Yeah, true.
If he still fails, you have to leave.
Yeah,
He
it's
has
he
done
to,
has
for
to
him.
be out. Yeah.
It's done for him.
right?
Yeah.
This is the main season for. This is very crucial for him as a manager as well.
Yeah.
For his
Start
future
learning-
Exactly.
Start learning Arabic after that. Trust
Yeah.
me, because no big club is going to sign you.
Because
After that.
he's given everything that he wants.
Yeah.
Literally, I
Yeah.
have not seen this
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true. Actually, that's actually right, because not right now. A lot of these clubs are following structures of, we will give you the players,
Yeah.
and then you make
Have
do
to
with them.
manage.
Exactly. They will give you a similar profile of players,
Exactly.
but they will not give you the same player. Not
Right.
always, at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now, Man United is doing everything
Yeah, true.
to
That's
get
a
him
good point,
his
actually.
players.
Yeah.
You cannot fail after that.
True. I agree completely.
Let me tell you this one thing. If Solskjaer would have got the same amount of support, he would have done great. For
That's
Manchester
a
United.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
and that's a whole different conversation,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
swear, yeah. We can do a
And
whole
so-
podcast on that.
Yeah.
True.
So coming back to that, if Eric Ten Hag fails this time, then it's done for him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
It's that simple.
what would you consider failure for him?
Not a Champions League qualification. If he fails to qualify for Champions League, that's a failure.
What
With
if,
that team, you
what
need
if he-
Champions League.
you mean a top 4 finish?
Yeah.
Or say he finishes
Title
7th
contender.
and wins the Europa League.
I'm gonna go with top 4. Come on, man. With that squad, you have to finish top 4.
You have
Top
to
4 in
finish-
Europa?
Huh?
Top 4 in Europa?
Great season, to be honest.
No, sorry. Sorry, my bad. If he misses out on top 4,
Yeah.
gets Europa,
Yeah.
gets the Champions League qualification, gets a trophy, but he finishes say 7th, 8th.
Still, I will feel it's disappointing.
Yeah.
But do you think he deserves a sack at that point, or stick with him? Because that's exactly what he did last
See.
season.
Ancelotti won Real Madrid the Champions League
Yeah.
after so many years.
Yeah.
He still got the sack. Why? Because even though we were performing in the limited tournaments, like we were getting better at
Yeah.
it, but in league, in the long format tournaments, we were very poor.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that matters a lot. What
Yeah.
you're doing in the league.
It's again,
Right.
It's about the standard of the club,
Yeah.
right? And Manchester United, as much as I hate to agree, they have a great stature. They have great history,
Yeah. True.
and you just after a point you just have to hit that top
Benchmark,
Yeah.
spot again.
I mean, United winning Europa, that doesn't suit
Exactly.
their
Yeah,
history,
exactly.
their
Yeah. I
heritage.
mean, yeah.
But yeah, United in top 4, qualified for UCL.
Yeah.
That makes me feel, yeah, that's United.
True.
Exactly.
I agree. Although I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
But
true.
that from a United perspective,
Yeah.
that's what should happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, moving on from United.
Only one very confusing transfer move is
Martin.
getting in Mamadashvili.
Yeah.
I don't get why they've gotten him. I mean, they've not yet gotten him. They will.
I
get
mean,
him.
there are reports about Martin
Why are they
Zubimendi
looking
as
for
well.
him?
Zubimendi.
Zubimendi said no.
He said no.
He said no.
Zubimendi outright rejected. But now their thinking is they'll get Mamadashvili right now, loan him for one season to Bournemouth, which will be a great move for Bournemouth, and bring him back in the starting line next year. What's going to happen to Alisson? This move came out so randomly out of nowhere that they're not saying that they'll sell Alisson. They're like they will keep Mamadashvili at the club next season.
I will hold on to Alisson's performance this season.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, to be
I mean,
honest.
He's still
I
young,
agree, but
by the way.
for a
for a
keeper,
But
keeper,
Brazilians.
For a keeper.
But Brazilians.
I mean, the only
on.
way I can see this working out is if Alisson just suddenly, you get reports like we did for Edison this year that he wants to leave and he wants to go to the Saudi or somewhere else. Maybe that's what they're trying to provide, but very confusing.
Very confusing.
It is
True.
confusing indeed. Yeah.
So, next up, Tottenham.
Honestly, I don't think they had a great window. Like
Yeah.
people are saying that they had
The
a
signings-
I expected a lot from them this season because
Same.
they needed a proper replacement for Harry Kane and they
Yeah.
got Dominic Solanke. Why would you get Dominic Solanke for 65 million?
I agree. He scored 19 goals last year. Great. So
For
did
Bournemouth.
Bamford.
Yeah.
Bamford scored 17 goals for Leeds one season. What did you
Yeah.
do after that?
Yeah.
Nothing. Solanke before last
He
season.
would have been a better option.
Exactly. And you know why they paid 65 million? They paid 55 million, 10 million is an add-ons.
Yeah.
It's because Liverpool had a 20% sell-on clause.
And they still. I don't get. I don't know what to say. This
desperate
is.
signing. I would
Yeah,
say.
I-
It was very desperate.
I have a very strong feeling that Solanke is gonna flop.
Yeah.
He
Very
will.
strong feeling.
Yeah.
He already did in the previous
Last
game.
night, yeah.
And besides, the only good signing I would say is Bergwall.
I'd
He's good.
say Archie Gray.
Yeah, both. I would
Yeah.
say.
They're good signings, but they're still very young. I don't. They're both
They can
under
develop.
20.
They can develop, but
when
it's
you-
about the coach. I would say.
And like when you talk about this season,
Mhm.
Archie Gray maybe, but Bergwall's coming from the Swedish league, so I don't know how he's
Yeah.
gonna fit here.
Let's see.
So, but they've now also signed a winger from Burnley, Odobert.
Hmm.
That's a move that's come out of nowhere. I
Right.
have no idea how he. So maybe let's see if he works out. But I don't think Spurs have had a very
Yeah.
good transfer.
Yeah, I expected a lot more from them.
Same, yeah.
It's disappointing. But anyway, from disappointment to something very unusual,
Yeah.
Arsenal. And
Ah.
when we talk about Arsenal, Calafiori. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, their transfer window, how do you feel about that overall?
Again, like the transfer window is just Calafiori,
Yeah.
and like they got Raya in. That's a great.
Do you
move.
think they should have gone for a
A
proper
striker.
striker this
Yeah.
time around?
Yes.
I mean,
They're still relying on Havertz.
See, they need a proper striker. They need a backup to Saka. They still need a proper defensive midfielder, because I thought Rice would be one for them, but they're not utilizing Rice as a proper
yeah.
defensive midfielder. Although I love Rice, Chelsea should have gone for him. That is the hill I will die on.
True.
We should not have gone for Moises Caicedo. But anyway, so baffling moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think what's more baffling for me is that after the Calafiori deal, you don't see Arsenal mentioned anywhere.
Hmm.
Exactly.
True.
I mean, there's a contrasting difference here. Like you have the best defense in Europe. I'm going to
Yeah.
say this: you have the best defense in Europe, but one of the worst attacks in Premier League.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because
Actually-
I don't rate Gabriel Jesus anymore.
Yeah.
Havertz, yeah, he's a good player. But he's good as a
By
central attacking
attack,
midfielder.
you mean in striker, right?
Yeah, in striker.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Not-
that's what I mean.
Not the wings. and
That's what I
Hmm.
mean.
everything,
Not wing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
they
just
have
trying to save you
Martinelli.
from the Arsenal hate.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the fans are gonna come for you otherwise.
That's true. I mean, Martinelli is good and Saka is good, but Havertz as a centre forward,
I don't rate him, even though he scored.
yeah.
And then again, I'm gonna point out like Arsenal missed out on the Premier League title last
Yeah.
season because of their poor squad depth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
I feel Arsenal only missed out because. So I was comparing stats of players at City and
Hmm.
Arsenal. So when you look at the wide players that Arsenal and City both of them had, they had pretty similar numbers,
Hmm.
right? City had 2 or 3 wide players scoring or at least contributing to around 20 goals.
Hmm.
So did Arsenal. The only clear difference there was Haaland scoring 27 and Jesus scoring 4.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Exactly. He's scoring 4 as a number 9.
Hmm.
In like, I think he played 27 games for City, for Arsenal.
True.
So they should have gone for a striker.
And do you
Those
think
were the
that
days
this
when he was good
mistake,
at City.
but this mistake, I will call it a mistake,
Yeah.
that they didn't sign anyone, would cost them the Premier League title again.
Could be, yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
I think so.
Because
Actually, I want that to happen. I can't see an Arsenal title win. I'd
Okay.
much rather have City.
I'm a
win the
neutral
fifth
fan
one.
in Premier League, so as a fan, I expected that. Come on, enough City.
Yeah.
Arsenal have been trying,
Nah,
trying.
You take away the 5th one. I'll give it to you right now. Not Arsenal. Not Arsenal. I just can't see that. I'm literally
But,
stuck.
what am I
in a
gonna
rock
say
and a hard
here?
place. Honestly, I don't want City to win another one. But if the option is Arsenal, just give it to City.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
He keeps on proving it. Anyway, moving on from that,
Yeah.
not top 6, but top 10. West Ham,
Potential top 6.
potential top 6,
Potential top
potential top 6. West Ham, Aston Villa.
Oh,
What a
Wow.
window.
nice.
Great
What a
window.
transfer window.
Great window.
Best transfer windows in the Premier League by far. I mean, I always had a soft spot for West Ham for some
Hmm.
reason, and this season, I just can't wait to see them in action.
Chelsea fan saying that. I mean,
Yeah,
London
I saw-
rivals.
I mean,
soft spot for
West Ham signed Fulkrug and he likes Fulkrug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the connection, right?
Yeah. So West Ham, not only just Fulkrug. Fulkrug was a move that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I loved it. They signed Fulkrug. They signed Guido Rodriguez, who's almost joined Barcelona till Xavi left. Then they signed Max Gilman. They signed Somerville, who's the best championship player last season.
Yeah.
And like, what's interesting about the Somerville move was, like, you know, clubs like Arsenal and Liverpool were interested, and to suddenly see West Ham swoop in for him,
Mm.
that is something that really caught my eye. And even the Aaron Wan-Bissaka signing, that's very good for
Great
West Ham.
signing. Yeah.
And add to that mix that they got in Jean-Claude Todibo
That's a very good signing, to be honest.
And even the Brazilian youngster Luis Guilherme,
Yeah.
he's the
He's an
he-
interesting prospect,
yeah,
I would say.
he's named alongside the likes of Endrick and William Estevao. He's the third name in that trade.
Yeah,
So for West Ham to get that, very interesting.
very good window. What about Aston Villa? Upmanyu.
Aston Villa, well, great signings, and the standout signing would be Onana for sure,
Yeah.
because again, like he was the main player for Everton last season, and I think he's gonna be a great physical asset for Aston Villa. Besides that, Ian Maatsen,
Great
True.
signing.
great signing.
Great
he had
signing.
a great season with Dortmund,
Yeah.
loan season.
It sucked that Chelsea couldn't convince him to stay because we need a left back, proper
I
left
don't know
back.
how.
Maatsen should have
Like,
been
yeah.
that one.
And I feel it's a steal for Aston
Yeah,
Villa.
definite
They
steal.
have had a brilliant transfer window and they're gonna do well this time around.
True.
They even got in Ross Barkley,
Yeah.
who had a
He has experience.
Rematanda for like for Luton.
Yeah.
They got in Philogene, who's again had a great
Philogene,
season
yeah,
for
another
in the
good player.
championship, and so all in all they've had a pretty good.
And they even
Season.
got Barnechia and Simon
Exactly.
Lilling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
They got them for Douglas Lewis,
Mm.
and not to mention they still have the money that they received for DRB,
Yeah.
which they can still
Utilize in some
utilize,
other
yeah.
place
That's
positions.
That's
Like,
a team
even though-
preparing for Champions League, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like him.
And
They look like
this
a
is
Champions
how-
League
like,
team. to
even
be
though-
honest.
This is how
Fel-
we prepare for Champions League.
Felix is now
Hmm.
coming to Chelsea, but when the
Hmm.
links for Aston Villa happened, I was really excited to see him there.
Yeah.
True.
That would have been fun. Now I'm reading that they might go for Pedro Goncalves.
He's a nice player.
Yeah.
Very good player.
So
Yeah.
if
Underrated
and I
player.
favorite.
still think that they'll probably get one more marquee signing
Hmm.
done,
Hmm.
considering they got so
I
much
agree.
cash
Yeah.
for DRB. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But I think as of right now, I don't
The
think
team
anyone
looks
had a
good.
better window than West Ham, to be honest.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we will see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Moving on. What about the promoted team signings?
Ooh,
Promoted teams.
they've done well. Like Ipswich have done well.
Mm.
Ipswich got in Liam Delap. They've got in they made Hutchinson's loan permanent.
Hmm.
The best thing that they've done is, like, I know you might not agree with me, but they got in Ben Johnson, they got in Calvin Phillips, and they got in I'm forgetting the Burnley keeper's name, Muric.
Yeah.
They got these three players. Calvin Phillips might not have had the best time at City, but he adds a lot of Premier League experience
Yeah.
to a club that's returning in for the first time in
And
20 years.
Calvin Phillips is known to be a leader.
Exactly.
So he's a backroom leader
Yeah, he's
as
a
well.
backroom leader, and I still feel that him working under McKenna, that can revive his probably career.
True.
At
Not
this point.
on the pitch, but yeah, as a locker room player, yeah.
Maybe
Leader,
even on
yeah.
the pitch, because
I mean-
see, he had a
I
lot
mean, I would
of,
love to see that.
yeah, he
honestly.
had a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. He had a
Calvin
lot
Phillips
of-
didn't get enough chances in Man City,
Yeah,
to be
He
honest.
didn't at all. I mean, you can understand. You can't replace
Exactly.
Rodri.
Yeah.
But
And replacing Rodri, you have Kovacic, by the way.
Yeah. he deserved those. He deserves minutes at this point,
Hmm.
and if he can do that consistently for Ipswich, maybe he can find his form again. That because you can't be a average player for City to come calling for you,
True.
Exactly.
especially this City team who are like at the top of.
And
the
even
game.
Pep wanted him.
Exactly, Pep has spoken so well about him
Hmm.
so many
Mhm.
times. I really hope this moves works out
Same,
for him.
same.
True.
So Ipswich have had a great window. Southampton, I think, have made some really smart business. The
Mhm.
best thing they've done is they've made their loan deals permanent. They got the City defender Howard Bellis.
Harvard Bellis, yeah.
He's a
Taylor
great-
Howard Bellis.
He
Yeah.
had a very good championship season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
he
was
was great
amongst
for
the
them.
best defenders.
I
Yeah.
think he's very
Yeah.
talented.
Yeah.
He can
is.
end up in the big club soon.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
wouldn't be surprised. They got him back. They got Flynn Downs back, who was a great CDM. for
And I
them.
think Flynn Downers can be that solution
Yeah,
to
Mhm.
Ward Prowse.
exactly. Yeah,
Because Downers might be a defensive midfielder. He's creatively, he's pretty
Yeah.
good. He's
Yeah.
pretty good. And Southampton has been lacking that, I feel.
yeah.
He can be that solution to that problem.
And like two of the best signings for Southampton for me were Ben Brereton Diaz.
Yeah, very good
I
signing.
really want to see him
Great
back
Very good
in
signing.
Southampton. and they wrapped up a loan move for Leslie Ugochukwu. Ugochukwu had a very good pre-season for Chelsea. He was great on loan last year. So I really want to see how he performs. If these guys click for them, that'll be very good.
So, between Ipswich and Southampton, do you think any one of them relegates?
I mean, it'll be a little hypocritical for me to say Southampton after praising them, but maybe, yeah, because I don't think Ipswich will be relegated. Well, everyone's predicting for them to be. I honestly can even see Leicester avoiding relegation. And they've also had a decent transfer window.
Let's go Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
They might finish in the, not top 10, but might just make it.
Bottom half.
Bottom half, yeah. That would be great, honestly.
They've gotten Okoli, Leicester, and I think on the they got Bobby Dakotova-Reid, who was a very good signing for them. He was great against Spurs as well. And they're now, I think, on the verge of tying up a move for Adam Lozek. That is a move I want to see.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that move.
Good signing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it happens.
Hopefully, yeah. So, but Leicester, the only signing that I'm not too inspired by is Steve Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
Very confusing. How does that signing help them in Premier League?
So, I think that is the only reason they've gone for him is because he did a good job with keeping Nottingham in the league, right? So I think they're considering they also have a points reduction looming. So I think Leicester's they wanted to go for Potter because they wanted some similar style to Maresca, but Potter rejected. So they got in Cooper because they're like, okay, at least let us stay in the Prem for another season, and then we'll see about how we're playing.
True. So now we have talked a lot about signings.
Yeah.
But what about your best signing of the Premier League?
I have an interesting one.
Okay.
I'll come to that. No,
Let's start with you.
Okay.
Let's start with you.
Okay, we will start with Faz. Okay.
I've already
best signing.
Mine. I think it might be a controversial statement to make, but I'd go with Somerville. I was very confused between Fulkrug and Somerville, but considering West Ham's track record with strikers recently, I'll hold off Fulkrug. I don't want to jinx him. But
you'll be surprised when I call out my.
Okay. But getting in Somerville, the only point of contention for me over here is Bowen has been given the captaincy.
Yeah.
So Bowen plays on one wing, Kudus plays on one. How do you fit Somerville in? But if you do manage to fit Somerville in, Somerville and Kudus on the wings, they can create havoc.
Why do you play Bowen?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I recently found out that Bowen has been given the captaincy.
Wow.
So if you stick him, either you stick him through the middle, like they did last season. So
and they will do that.
They'll do that, and they can do that because we've seen how good Fulkrug is from the bench. And Fulkrug is not the youngest, right? So if you stick Bowen through the middle, have these two guys on the wings, that'll be a
it will
watch.
cook.
Yeah, that will cook.
Yeah.
So, Upmanyu, what about you?
Okay. Jorginho Rutter to Brighton.
Oh.
Very interesting.
It is interesting because this guy had 8 goals and 16 assists in the championship.
Yeah.
He's a great player. I have seen him play. I have seen the highlights. I've seen the highlights, and besides, I personally feel he did a pretty good job for Leeds.
Yeah.
I mean, combining with Somerville and whoever the guy was in the right wing. I think he did a pretty good job for Leeds, and he's going to perform well for Brighton. That's all I have to say.
I feel bad for Leeds, man. They lost Somerville, they lost Rutter, they lost Archie Gray. 3 of their best players.
Yeah. You got
Hello,
to feel for
Division
them.
2.
Yeah, they are not coming back up.
I mean, it's very difficult now.
It is.
I mean, they barely even survived in Premier League for one season. I mean,
I want to know what's your thoughts on your best signing.
I'm gonna go with West Ham as well.
Okay.
John Kidd Todibo.
Oh, that is a move.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Good sign.
When he was at Barcelona,
Yeah.
I saw him play.
Yeah.
He was really, really good. I thought, damn, this guy is going to be a major problem for Real Madrid. But then I don't know why he was not chosen
Yeah.
to be the next big thing in the team. And then he went to Nice.
Yeah.
And he has been very good at Nice.
True.
He has been one of the most influential players in the
Yeah.
back room and even on the field for
Totally.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now to get that player in West Ham,
Exactly.
because there were a lot of transfer rumors, transfer interest from Man United.
Yeah.
Before
Man
De Ligt.
United,
De Ligt was the second option, I guess. It was mainly
Yeah.
Todibo.
Todibo was their first option.
Yeah.
Todibo would have been a United player had Nice not been in the Champions League.
Exactly.
The only reason that move fell through is because of the UEFA rules.
Exactly.
So Todibo is realistically a United level player, and even Juventus were in for him.
Yeah, Juventus.
So
Exactly.
this
Choosing
West Ham won-
over
exactly West Ham
Juventus,
managed
it's a
to
big thing.
sneak him away
Yeah.
from Juventus.
So the West Ham project,
yeah,
so many players coming to West Ham, that has to be something fulfilling and exciting,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
swear.
For all the players to join West
Yeah.
Ham, ignoring all the other clubs, right?
especially when they don't have Champions League football.
Exactly. So that's what
So
excites
Nice-
me.
Yeah.
Nice had the Europa League football. Fulkrug had Champions League football. So both of these players
They sacrifice that to come to West Ham.
exactly.
Exactly.
That's
a
very
big thing.
interesting.
That's a
Yeah.
big thing.
And Todibo can be that point in West Ham's defense
Yeah,
that can unlock their potential up front.
yeah, and another great piece of business for West Ham in the Todibo deal is that getting him on a loan with an obligation.
Exactly.
They don't have to pay anything for the next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great
That's
move.
great.
So, as we talked about our best signing, what about the most confusing signing of the season?
I'll save my comments for last because it might create a stir.
Okay.
Same. I would say. Look, I know you're a Chelsea fan,
Yeah.
but is Pedro Neto really a good signing for Chelsea? Is he? Like,
Okay, so I'll tell you, I was very split about Pedro Neto.
Yeah.
I was confused because he's been injured most of the times.
exactly my point.
But
In
On-
fact, sorry to cut you off, but Wolves actually made this statement. They gave a warning to Chelsea before they made the signing that
I didn't read about this.
be sure about this move because he gets injured a lot.
What?
They literally said that.
What?
He's very injury prone. Yeah.
Are you?
There were
I-
reports.
What?
Yeah, there were reports
kidding
of
me
them
right now?
literally warning Chelsea.
I didn't read anything about this.
Exactly.
Damn.
That's a interesting
Yeah,
story.
exactly.
I'm telling you.
But I don't know. See, the only reason the Pedro Neto move got me excited is because you're finally going for a player who can compete for the first team, right? Like when fit, like if I talk about whenever Pedro Neto is fit, he will be in the first team mix. He will be
Yeah.
challenging. It is no longer we're going for a player, who maybe,
Exactly.
2 seasons later can become great. No, we're going for him in the now.
Exactly.
But I can understand why it's confusing because it's confusing for me too to see where he's gonna fit.
Again, I'm gonna sort this out in a very small statement. He's a good player for a mid-table club, but he's a pretty average player for a top-level club. And yeah,
I
I'm saying
would-
that for Chelsea.
I would disagree on him being average.
Yeah.
I think the only problem for him comes down to his fitness, man. If he's fit, he can great.
He might do the job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
So let's see. I hope he does.
What about you?
What about you? I'll save mine for last. 'Cause mine's a big name.
I probably know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hinted to it in this episode itself. If you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you might have caught it.
I will go for. So guess what?
Yeah.
It's Pedro Neto. I don't get that signing. I really don't get that signing.
Neither do I.
Not anymore.
But my name's not Pedro Neto. The one sign that confuses me a lot is Calafiori. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. See, I love Calafiori. I have no doubts about his capability. What's confusing for me is why is he gone to Arsenal? Where does he fit in Arsenal? Why are they spending like around 50 million on him when there are so many other positions that they need to address? they don't really need to address in that
I mean, their defense has been pretty good.
Yeah,
They
and
didn't need
like
any.
As I
I-
said
I-
earlier,
I
they probably
think-
have the best defense.
yeah, and I think
Europe.
Arteta forgot that Timber is a new signing for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He didn't play last season,
Yeah.
so he's doing he's brought in for the same role they brought in Timber for.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
I
And
mean-
people have been saying that Calafiori will play on the left. I've done like deep research on. Yeah, I've done deep research on him. He has not played so many games. He can play as left back,
Yeah.
but he's not a natural left back. He plays most of his games at centre back. I think even last year for Bologna, he played 2 to 3 games at left back.
Oh, wow.
So
Let's bring in the FIFA tactics.
I mean,
Play
at this
as a
point-
defensive midfielder.
Okay, if we talk about Arsenal, Timber,
yeah,
Ben White,
yeah,
Gabriel, Calafiori,
Saliba,
Saliba.
Saliba,
Zinchenko.
Tomiyasu, Zinchenko. I mean, they are all kind of first team players,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
starters,
Exactly.
right?
yeah, and
This
we've
is
not
crazy.
yet added Tierney to the list, by the way.
Tierney,
Oh,
yeah. He
Tierney,
might
yeah.
be injured, but
Yeah.
He's still contracted to the
I
club.
forget him because
Yeah.
he's always.
injured.
Either injured or out
Yeah.
on loan. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a solid defensive lineup, I would say. But
Yeah.
then again, you can only place 4 or 5.
Exactly.
The
Right.
same problem with Chelsea. They have 9 goalkeepers.
Yeah. But the problem is even worse. You can only place one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then again, Chelsea, first team quality,
Yeah.
only 2-3
Only
players, I guess.
Mhm.
But in Arsenal, they are
All
like,
of them are
yeah,
first team quality. I
whom do you bench?
I
Literally.
honestly don't get why Calafiori, like, because I want him to do well.
Mhm. True.
I want him to shine because I loved watching him play. I had the similar views on Akanji when he signed for City, because I loved Akanji. It was a great move for City to get an Akanji, but not for Akanji
As a player, yeah.
as a player. He proved us
But-
wrong because he's
yeah.
gotten some
Mhm.
chances. But same for Calafiori. I don't think Calafiori slots in the team
Exactly.
right in the first team.
Or maybe play back 5.
Maybe, yeah.
I
But
don't.
I don't think that's
I
gonna
wouldn't
happen.
like back 5 Arsenal, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
Yeah. I mean,
I don't work. Yeah, if they
lowering
had a
your
prolific
chances to
striker,
win.
exactly.
I would understand. But
Totally.
they're playing with a false
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
I mean, Kai Havertz up front.
Yeah.
At least they need something up front, right? If they play like back 5, I don't know how are they going to score. How is that going to work?
I don't know what is they gonna do.
Calafiori for the golden boot.
Yeah. I just
Technically
hope
great.
it does well.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah,
I guess this is it.
Yeah.
that's pretty much.
Transfer window, very interesting transfer window, and it still didn't end.
Yeah.
If anything
still
big
have-
comes up,
Yeah.
we'll be here to talk about
We
it.
still have 10 more days.
10 more days, can you believe it? And there's a lot coming up.
Yeah.
So
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. We will come back with a new episode. This is Faz, Upmanyu, Nilohit. Thank you for watching it and have a good night.